Okay, so I'm continuing our discussion on ledger lines here. I've written, you'll see in the treble clef of the piano, I've just written a descending scale here, starting from this G, descending all the way to G here. That means, oh boy, excuse me, that means we've gone one octave descending from here to here is one octave because we have 8 notes and then we cycle back to the original note. Okay, um, what is the whole point of these ledger lines then if we can simply switch from treble clef to bass clef? Not all instruments play with a grand staff. Most instruments have either a treble clef or a bass clef. There are some instruments that use another clef, which shall not be mentioned yet, and some instruments will switch between a couple. But well, let me illustrate this here in the trumpet part. I'm gonna transfer what I have. I'm gonna transfer. I'm gonna transfer what I have in the piano to the trumpet, and you'll see what happens here. Where before we could just put this in the bass. In the trumpet part, we need the ledger lines here. They have to appear because trumpets only read in treble clef. Okay, so you would need to start writing all of these ledger lines below the notes that you need. And let's notice a couple things about the ledger lines here. Once you arrive to this note here, the C or whatever note, if you were in bass clef, by the way, we'll go back to here. Once you get to the bottom line, it's a G, and the note below that would be an F. And in order to keep going, you'd have to write a ledger line just like you would up here. So in bass clef, this note would be an E, and it would be very low. But here in treble clef, it's a C, right? So this ledger line maintains for the next note below, which is a B, because that B has to be anchored on a ledger line. Otherwise, if we don't have that ledger line there, we just have something that looks like this. And we don't know how far it is from here or how far it is from there. So we need to have that ledger line so it can hang on something. But notice that we don't need the ledger line below it because we already know from this line that it's hanging there below the C, so it's a B. But in order to keep going, we'll have to add another ledger line, and so on and so forth. So this B moves to an A with the next ledger line down, and then this G is hanging below that A. So it's the same exact idea, starting from this note, just descending backwards through the alphabet.